Hi, and a warm welcome to all my lovely audience on Icy Tales today. My name is Hiba, and I am your host for this wonderful interview session. Today, we're going to be having conversations on nutrition and wellness because I have with me Miss Shraddha Shetty. She's the head nutritionist at Coutinho Holistic Healing Systems, and I'm very excited to have you here, ma'am. How are you, and how does it feel to be here?
I'm doing great, Hiba, and thank you so much for having me here. Hope you are also doing well.
Yes, thank you very much for asking. I'm doing great. So, keeping all this excitement in mind, can we get started with the interview?
Yes, absolutely.
So let me get to know your journey and why you chose to come in this field. So tell us when you decide that you wanted to be a nutritionist and lifestyle expert. When did this decision come up?
I think initially, like I think most Indian families, my parents wanted me to be a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also kind of, looking in that direction only.
Right.
So even I wanted to be a doctor somewhere. But I think when the time came closer, I was like, no, I don't think I want to be a doctor. But
Right.
I knew that I wanted to be in the same field, like, same medical field, or you can say a science field or whatever. But
Correct.
I wanted to be in that field.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, during that time, there was no so much of an internet exposure or social media or to know so much about your career and all. We didn't have so much of information around, right? So earlier it was just doctor, engineer, and few specific other fields. So we didn't really know much about it. But I remember as a kid, I used to, collect newspaper cutouts. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we had our
Okay.
daily newspaper at that time, right? So I used to collect cutouts of these benefits of food or certain vitamins or remedies, natural
Mm-hmm.
home remedies and all.
Yes.
So I was very interested in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So then I thought probably, I want to pursue something in nutrition because I think that excites me.
Yep.
So I started looking out for things to pursue nutrition, but I wasn't eligible to the colleges that I wanted to go because of one of the subjects that I didn't have as part of my bachelor's degree.
Right.
So then, but that interest to be in the same field was still there. So I decided to pursue MBA in hospital operations management.
Yep.
So I started doing that, and then I started working too. But I
Yep.
think I was still attracted towards the whole nutrition and lifestyle thing, and I kept my research on. Then while I was working, I found this college course where I was eligible
Mm-hmm.
with the subjects that I had taken, and then finally I did my masters, and then that's how it all kind of started.
I could see the excitement on your face when you were giving the answer to this question. So great job on all that energy. So I'm sure nutrition is very, very interesting. And like you said, it has so many aspects to it. So what is something that you love about this profession?
What I love the most would be the to have the ability to make changes in people's life. You know,
Right.
uh, I can't really put it in words, but when your patients or clients they come up with improved reports like they have towards the end of their journey, they have
Right.
improved reports, or they just come back to you and say they're feeling happy or healthy. It is
Mm-hmm.
really fulfilling. Not just for them, but for me
Mm-hmm.
also. Like I feel good. That kind of satisfaction you can't really define. And I feel really fortunate to have that opportunity, and
Mm-hmm.
especially working with a mentor like Lou Coutinho, where I have the opportunity to change people's life for better each day. So
Right.
it really keeps that excitement
Mm-hmm.
going on. And you must have heard of the very, very common saying that health is wealth, right? Like, I mean, those three simple words, they have so much truth in it. I mean, I can't emphasize enough. Like, that's the simplest statement, but it means so much because if you are physically and mentally healthy, I mean, there's nothing that you cannot achieve. You
Right.
have that will in, but you need that good health to do
Yes.
it, right? So I feel fortunate that I have that opportunity and to some extent the ability to change people's life and to
Right.
make them move in this direction. So that is what I think I love about my profession.
Like you said, health is well summed up the whole answer. So thank you very much for that. Let's move on to our next question. So this is about your background and your profession. So how do you think the current lifestyle changes have influenced health in people in today's world?
Today's world will be a mix of both. I think not just one thing. It'll be a mix of both good and bad.
Yes.
So there is definitely increased awareness amongst people. So people are taking care of their health and trying to take measures to improve their health if there is something wrong. So definitely in terms of awareness, it is quite good. But I think there is a downside also to this, because there is too much of information and too much of easy availability of things. Especially if you see, a lot of information on the internet, people have become their own doctor. They try to self-diagnose them, self-medicate, self-supplement, and all of that, which is a big risk. So that is one big factor. And I think availability of things, the food delivery apps, food subscription models and all of that, people are ordering in more than before. I think earlier the culture was not there. Earlier I think we would eat out maybe on birthdays or some special occasion or something, right? Now it's like every day is special, everybody is ordering, and all these food company apps are also, they're making it so convenient and so attractive. Like they'll deliver in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's like they're waiting right outside your door to deliver, all the time. So it's become too convenient, and people are kind of not putting in too much effort to cook. I'm not talking about the majority, but there is a good chunk of people who don't really want to put an effort to cook, because it's so convenient now to get, whatever food you want at just a click of a button, right? So that is one, I think, downside of it. And also in terms of the lifestyle, I think in current time, people are so hooked on to their gadgets, like be it phones, laptops, and just so much time is spent on social media that they are cut off from their actual social life. They don't really meet people in, actually it's just more of social interaction on, apps and these websites and all, that the actual social life is missing. And I think that is somewhere affecting the emotional health too, of people nowadays. So I think that will be a downside of today's world. And it's just become very sedentary, I would say, be it our work, be it, just being lazy also, or just, spending time scrolling or binge watching. We're just sitting the whole time. And this is definitely affecting not just the weight, but also, certain chronic conditions like diabetes and heart diseases, and also the posture and the musculoskeletal health. Like nowadays, how often do you hear young adults or even teenagers complaining of neck ache, back pain, knee issues and all that? I mean, that was like older people complaining, right? In probably our time. And now it's even we, even I'm the one, I used to complain of back pain because of our work. Like we're constantly on our screen. So it's today's times, the issues that we are facing. So that's, I would say, it's a mix of both good and bad. Like the awareness makes it good, but there are a lot of other convenient factors which kind of ruin it also. So we just have to increase the good part of it more, like in as we go forward.
Right. I like how you spoke about the upsides and the downsides. So you kept in mind both the aspects. So again, thank you so much for answering that question. Let's move on to our next aspect of nutrition. So I'm sure in the field of nutrition, you have something to say about nutrition in children also. Tell us something about that in detail, and what's your general opinion on it?
I think nutrition in children is very, very, very important, because I think that's how you can build the right foundation for their growth. But when it comes to children, it's not just children, the parents or the family members around the kids play a big role. Because if, like if the parents are eating unhealthy and, they expect their kids to eat healthy, that's not going to work. Children, learn from what they observe. So we have to be the role model and, set the right example so that they can pick up those good habits. But if around, around them, things are not the ideal way, what we are expecting them to follow, it's not going to happen. It's not the right expectation to have also. So I think when it comes to nutrition in children, I think the parents and the family members play a big role here.
I'm sure parents watching this will have major takeaways. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that. Let's move on to our next question. Very, very interesting. So right now we are seeing, because of the digital space, a lot of kids and adults are going through something called stress. I'm sure you know what it is, because it's becoming very, very common. So what do you have to say about this in general? Because we all believe that health and wellness goes together. So what's your opinion on stress, and how do you think we can deal with it?
Like you said, it has become very common. I think people talking that they are stressed, they are feeling anxious, they are feeling low. I mean, we get to hear that so much nowadays, right? And I believe, I don't think there's anyone, around who will say that I don't have stress in my life. I think everyone, bottom line is everyone has some or the other stress factor. Maybe the degree of, the stress factor could be different, but everyone has something or the other. right? But how we deal with it, how we react to that situation is what matters. And I think that control we have, like how we react to it, right? So given a situation to two people, both the people may not react the same way. It is the control that probably one person has better over handling that situation, right? So that control we have. So how to get better control over your reactions? I mean, you can use certain tools like, say, deep breathing, meditation, yoga, pranayama, journaling. It could be positive affirmation. So these are some of the tools that you can use. I mean, you may not, of course, be using all of it together, but at least, you can pick up one or two of these and try and have better control over your emotional health. And it need not be these, specific things only. You could do other activities too, like just maybe going for a walk in nature or listening to music, or, like for a lot of people, cooking, singing, painting is also therapeutic, so they feel good when they do that. So you could use any of these, makes you feel good, or just talk to someone, talk to a friend or anyone that you're close to. And of course, if things are a little difficult and you're not able to get better control, it's always good to seek professional help. I think that's something that people should definitely look at as an option and not like a negative that, you need to seek help, right? So that is something that needs to be done. And I think, just dealing with it is what we need, and just getting off this whole social media, phase that people are into, because they start comparing their lives on social media. And not everything in life is exactly how it's seen on, Instagram or any other these platforms. Wherever you see people, posting about their life, it's not all the same, right? So we need to cut off and be realistic and more practical, and spend more time with actual people, not just on social media apps. So spend time with people, spend time in nature. I think it's very, like, it works like magic when you just spend time in nature or with the people that you love. And Hiba, I would like to just add one thing over here. When you asked me about stress, recently this happened, so I would like to just add that. I was just checking a route on Google Map recently, and by mistake, I just happened to zoom out. And then I just realized, okay, it's become so small. I kept zooming out. And then I was like, that route that I was looking at, it's become so small that it's not even really seen when you zoom out so much, right? So similarly, like when we have, difficult situations in our life, going on, or stressful things happening around, I think we should all just zoom out a little, and look at it at a bigger picture, because that thing is such a small thing in your life, and just worrying and just ruining the rest of your, day or the life that you have, it really doesn't make sense. I just found that whole connection when I was doing it. It was my own self-realization that I had, I was just zooming out. I was like, it's not even seen when I zoom out a lot. So I think even we should do that, when we are going through something, just, I think, zoom out is what is needed, and not just keep on, like zooming and making things bigger and bigger.
I'm sure the example will relate with everybody else because it's something that we all can do on a daily basis. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that. Let's move on to something out of nutrition, because this is the interesting part of the interview. So I've seen all over your Instagram, you have posted so many cute and empowering reels with your husband. You guys have been dancing, you guys have been singing. When did you get this idea, and how did you develop on this?
Thank you so much for the compliment, firstly. So we didn't really put too much of thought to it. Like, there was no too much planning done around it. I think one day he was just recording one of his dance reels, and he just said, "Why don't you join me?" And I have been a part of, say, the back end work, like editing or, recording and all of that. I have done it, but I was very reluctant to dance because I'm not a great dancer. So I didn't want to do that. So, but he said, no, the steps are very simple. You can do it. So I was like, okay, let's try it. So after a lot of convincing, I said, okay, we'll do it. And then we got a good response. So, that was a good job, like a boost for me. Like, okay, it's not so bad, so we can do it. Then we did another reel. So that also got a good response. And then for some time we didn't post. So then people started commenting that, we want to see both of you all together, where's your whiteboard? Whoever didn't know, where's It's more impactful when two people are saying the same thing, one person, and they are liking our, like, probably dance together as a couple or something. So then that's how it started. So, we started posting more reels together then.
And I must say, it was very, very nice to see you made so many reels which had a lot of empowering content in that. So you gave knowledge in a very, very interesting way. So great job on that. Also, if you don't know, I had also interviewed your husband a few months ago
Yes,
on the
yes,
same.
I do.
So it's very
Yes,
nice
I do know.
to take both of you on the same platform. It's my honor. So thank you very much for
Thank
that. Let's move on to our next question. I also saw on your Instagram bio that you guys love to travel. So what is something that you love and appreciate about traveling?
Good observation.
Thank you.
So yes, I mean, I do love the travel part is more me. Like, I do love to travel, and I love everything about travel. Like, be it just the whole planning process also. Like, I just love making the itinerary, booking things, making it happen and all of that. So the entire process of travel, I just love. And I just love exploring the local things around, like, be it the local food also. I love experimenting. And I think it somewhere helps me with my work too, because we do have a lot of global clients. So when you travel, you just become more culturally and, globally aware also, right? So, and I think whenever you visit any new place, it just gives you more perspective, more understanding of how, different way of life is, in different parts of the world. So it just makes you more, like, your mind opens up a little bit more to, think. And the other thing is, I think it's a great way of de-stressing. I think it just makes you feel more relaxed whenever you, just unwind from your mundane activities. It becomes quite monotonous sometimes with your routine day and everything. So travel, I think, really breaks that monotonous part, and it just recharges your batteries. I think I just go to different places just to recharge my batteries and come back to life. It's not an escape. It's just, just a momentary, break from your routine, right? So I think it really helps to charge my batteries.
Yes, that is something about traveling. Thank you very much for your insights on that. So, with that being said, we've now come to the last question. This question is very, very optimistic and very, very goal oriented. So, you can be as open as possible if you wish. So, I'm sure you have some future plans and goals in life in your profession or elsewhere. So, what are your future plans in life and how do you plan on achieving them?
I think when you ask me that question, it reminds me of the time when we used to go for job interviews.
All the HRs are filled with these.
Yeah. So I think when this question was asked, probably in a job interview, I would be very, like, politically correct, and I would have to frame it really nicely. But I think here I would like to just speak with my heart. I would like to say that I'm not a very big planner. I'm a very content person that way. So I like to take things, with the flow, how it goes that way, and not, like, plan too much far ahead in future and put that pressure on myself. And I think it has worked for me so far. So I like to go with that kind of a flow. So I don't have, like, really big future plans, but I definitely see myself, educating people and continuing this work of being able to help people, improve their health and bring it to more natural and true form without too many complications, and just make life easy, and being healthy easy, not a very complicated thing, is what I feel. So that's one thing, and definitely I want to travel to a lot more places. That's my future plan.
I was waiting for that answer. I was really looking forward to it. So thank you very much for saying that. So with that being said, we've now come to the end of this interview. I must say that the last 20 minutes have been so full of energy, because I must say your smile is very, very enlightening. The way you answered with such energy, it just gave me more energy to conduct this. So keep up all the spirit. It was very, very nice having you on board me today, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Hiba. And I must say, your smile is also really good. So it kept each other, I think, motivating.
We complemented each other. So great job on that. To another successful interview. Thank you very much for your time. Do take very good care of yourself.